Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at three things that I think you need to know about the most recent episode of the Clone Wars. There's a lot of videos reviewing this episode, breaking it down. The goal that I've had with my breakdowns is to just make sure that I highlight a few things that stood out to me that I thought were important, and then sharing those in a quick video. So before we jump in, make sure you like this video, and if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe for more Star Wars content. So jumping in, first off, this was my least favorite episode of the season so far, and that's not to say it was a bad episode. I thought it was actually a really good episode, but on its own, it wasn't what I was hoping for as an episode 3. I think within this 4-episode arc of the Bad Batch, it's going to have its place and it's going to be a good episode, but on its own, it's a little bit shorter, and quite honestly, it was a lot of recycled stories. But I am going to share why I think this recycled story and this arc that we see in the episode was more important this time than ever has been. But jumping in, the first thing that I want to highlight that I noticed in this episode was that the Bad Batch, they're not invincible. And they actually, I was worried about them this episode. In episodes 1 and 2, we've seen them cruise through crowds of battle droids in creative ways. And it's even made Anakin look like he's struggling to keep up. They've been awesome, and in this episode they still were awesome, but there were a few moments that it was clear to me that the Bad Batch was in a tight jam, and that even they were scrambling a little bit to figure out how they were going to get out of the situation. Whether it was the start of the episode when they're holding off the battle droids while Echo is being rescued, or even towards the end when the spider droids come in and attack them while they're at the Poltec village. So between things like that and even their little journey across the bridge pipe thing at the bottom of the Techno Union, I don't know, real Cloud City vibes there. But even moments like that, it was clear that the Bad Batch was just like any other soldier, just like any other unit. There were going to be bad situations that even they would be stressed in. The second thing that I noted, and this I would actually maybe label as the second most important thing, was that Echo is eager to get back in the fight. So I've highlighted Echo in the previous breakdowns of this season, and every time we've been wondering, okay, what happened to Echo, or how is he alive? What's going on with Echo? And this was actually an episode where we got the questions answered. We know basically what Echo, where he's been, all that stuff. It's fine. But now we want to know what's Echo going to do from here. And I think we kind of get an idea that the Echo is really eager to rejoin the fight against the Separatists. And we see this when, no, Cameron, don't die. We see this when he's the first to jump off of the bridge onto the Keeradaks. I think partly he wanted to get out of there. He'd been cooped up and held prisoner for a long time, and he wanted to just get out. But I also think that he was eager to just move to the next step, move to the point where he can take the knowledge that he has and fight back against the Separatists. So that's the second thing that I noted, that the Echo is eager to rejoin the fight. There's still a little bit that who knows what his place in the fight will be. At the end, there's a scene where Rex says something to the extent of just like the old days, and Echo repeats it kind of with a tone of voice that suggests that there's something else going on, that maybe he knows that things aren't going to go back to the old days or whatever. But for the most part, Echo's ready to rejoin the fight against the Separatists. In fact, he's eager to do that more so than ever. The final most important thing that I noticed in this episode, and this goes back to the kind of recycled story arc. The story of the Republic partnering with natives is one that we've seen throughout the whole series. We've seen it with the Lurmen, with the farmers that those bounty hunters came in and helped defend their farmland. we've seen the storyline play out quite a bit. We know that throughout the war, the Separatists have invaded different planets and attacked different natives, and the Republic has typically been there to defend them. And this was one of those. But here is why I think it was important, and that we shouldn't just roll our eyes and say, oh, okay, another one of these stories. This was a battle that was more gruesome and far more ruthless than we've seen before. In the past, we've seen these battles take place where natives are fighting against the Separatists with the clones or the Jedi, and for the most part, we don't see a lot of casualties or anything from those natives. However, in this episode, we see Poltex getting blasted all over the place. It's far more gruesome, it's far more ruthless, and here's why that's important. Because at the end of the war, because remember, we're in the 4th year of the Clone Wars, we're creeping up on the end, the Separatists are getting desperate. They're upping their tactics, they've become far more ruthless, because just like the Republic, they want this war to end. They want this war to end and come to a quick end. Even in the book Dark Disciple, the whole book, the whole premise behind that book, I won't spoil anything, is the Republic's response to the Separatists becoming more ruthless, specifically Count Dooku becoming more ruthless. But that's why this is important, because yes, this isn't the first time we've seen the clones defend natives or work with natives, but this is the most ruthless time that we've seen this, and it's meant to show us that the war's getting pretty crazy. It needs to be done. The Clone Wars need to end. So anyways, those are the 3 most important things that I think you should take away from this episode. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more Star Wars content. And as always, I hope that today you learned something about Star Wars.